And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Friends at Gameology, hosted by MoonlightCrew.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less.
Briefcase. Briefcase is a deck building game along with resource management and tableau building. So you're building these buildings while collecting these cards for your deck while managing these resources in order to build said buildings. And so you start off with a set number of cards just like any deck building game. You start off with lots of these, which are obstacles. They don't do anything. Buys will let you buy cards, and activates, which lets you use the buildings that you purchase. So you're trying to manage these resources. So on your turn, you can use all the cards in your hand to buy or activate any number of things. So you're trying to get victory points. Whoever has the most victory points wins at the end of the game. The buildings generally have victory points, and you can get victory points by getting a lot of buys and getting these cards. These are your victory point cards. So that's the gist of the game. Pretty straightforward. So simplicity versus complexity.
I don't know how straightforward this is. When you purchase a building, it comes grayed out. Then you have to activate it. So when you activate it, you flip it over to the side that's colored, and then it gives you some amount of production. So that's where you get these resources from. But then you can always activate it again, and some of these have abilities. Some of them are, once they turn over, the abilities let you use everything as one of the separate types of resources, or lets you discard 3 cards to use as a buy if you don't have a buy in your hand or something like that. Some of them have abilities that you have to keep activating. So just purchasing the building isn't enough. You have to keep activating it. So if you have enough of the resources but don't have an activate card in your hand, you still can't use the building. Yeah. So it's just a little complicated. It's not as clean or streamlined as a lot of the other deck builders I've played. So I would say it is learnable, but it's not very simple.
No, and I meant straightforward as in like that's what you can do on your turn, use the cards in your hand. Yeah, there are a lot of symbols that, there's lots of symbols that I just don't know what they mean. There's a lot of different cards here, or you've got the cards that are going to be in your deck, then you've got this whole other set of cards, and then this set of cards, and not even all of these are the same. You can only purchase 4 of these. This one you can't ever purchase. This is the energy resource type. You can't ever purchase that. You have to get it from buildings. You can't ever purchase these. You have to get these from buildings. There's a lot going on, and then this is a whole other way to get victory points that I've never even tapped into, because I've always been focused on getting them from here. So
I won with this.
Yeah, we know. We all know.
It is a valid
thing. It is a thing. I just personally have never done it. And so there's a lot going on, especially when we say deck building games. So it's a little bit more involved than other deck building games, but definitely learnable. Luck versus strategy.
This game is super lucky. If you draw a hand without buys, well, you're done. You can't do anything. If you draw a hand with buys, you can buy up to your 5 resource limit. But if you're already there and you don't have an activate to get rid of those, you pass on your turn. You say, I pass. There's nothing else to do. You can always discard 2 cards to move these or these. Where they are, no one can buy those cards, so you can try to be strategic about it. But this game there's an attack that makes you discard a card of somebody's choice if you have 2 of them to choose from, and you finally lucked into getting an activate in your hand, and
then Tom attacks you.
I attack you, and you have to discard it. And so the problem is that it's so luck based because these cards don't have a function, but you start with 6 of them. So
and 12 card
half of your deck is unusable. You could literally go 2 turns in a row just starting by passing your turn because of luck. So take that for what it is.
Yeah, I would say there's a good amount of luck in this game. In other deck building games, I've been devastated by pretty heavy attacks, but I've still been able to do something on my next turn or something like that. I haven't been attacked every single turn, but in this game I was attacked every single turn, and I couldn't do anything. I had so many resources because I kept on having to discard this activate, and I could do nothing to get anything else. I couldn't get any other special abilities, couldn't get any more points. I just couldn't do anything because to get these you have to activate, to get these you have to activate. There's so many things that I couldn't do. And then, if I drew these, I was like, well, I'm going to do nothing on my turn. Pass. So, yeah, super lucky as far as deck building game goes for sure. Fun versus boring. I want to like it because I like deck building games and I like ones that are a little bit more involved sometimes. And so I want to like it, because there is a little bit more strategy. I had to think about a few more things, and I like to do that sometimes, but this one just fell flat for me. It was not as engaging as other ones, and maybe it's because you just couldn't do things on your turn. On so many turns, it didn't matter what I did because I was like, this is dumb. I can't do anything to get me to win. I'm done. I pass. And I did that so often in a row, and not even just beginning game, mid game to end game too. It happened, and so because I couldn't do anything to mitigate the attacks or get more, I couldn't even just buy more activates to get my deck to be builder. I needed to activate a building to get activates. Yeah.
This game is not fun. It is the antithesis of fun. It is boring. In our first several turns, 3 out of the 4 of us passed.
Yeah.
We said, I passed, and we put our cards to the side. That happens in lots of deck building games. You get a 5-2 split, something like that. There's nothing to purchase for 2, you pass, big deal. We did it over and over and over and over again. And there's you just get locked into this really not well-developed game.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
I give this game a 3, I almost say 2. Let's just say 3 out of the Board Game Geek scale.
Yeah, I would say 3.5, 4, because I do get to think more, but yeah, not.
I've given games worse ratings than this, but I've never booed a game. But I've booed this game.
Booed. Note that, listeners, watchers, viewers, readers, whatever you do. Every time we get to multiples of 500 subscribers, we give away a free glitter painting of your favorite superhero icon. So make sure to subscribe now.
Because it could be you that wins.
Briefcase. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.